Feliz Navidad, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year from Kiss.
Feliz Navidad, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas from Kiss.
Ho, ho, ho! I'm wishing everybody a really Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year.
Someone stole Santa? That does not rock!
What's going on, vinyl community? Welcome to another episode of 25 Days of KISSmas, where every day leading up to KISSmas, I will be reviewing and discussing every Kiss studio album, plus more. For the third episode, I will be reviewing the Dress to Kill album from 1975. 4 months into the Hotter Than Hell tour, the album stopped selling amidst Warner Brothers' distribution deal ending with Casablanca, and along with financial issues, Neil Bogart pulled the band off tour and had them go back to the studio to cut another album with him in the producer's chair in hopes that it would give the band and the label the break that they needed. Now, the overall tone of Dress to Kill is rather toned down. It doesn't quite capture the bombast of the band in a studio setting, but to think that this was their third album released in just over a year is quite remarkable. So let's dive into the album. Side 1, Track 1, Room Service. A track from Paul which very much talks about life on the road, which at this point in their careers was all the band really knew. Track 2, Two-Timer, a Gene composition where the meaning of the lyrics solely lie in the song's title. Tells the tale of a guy who's involved with a girl who has their cake and needs it too. Track 3, Ladies in Waiting, another Gene track which points to the band's adventures on the road for inspiration, and it talks about the crop of women who often provided temporary companionship. But cleverly enough, there is such a term such as Lady in Waiting, which can be interpreted as a female assistant at a court or high-ranking noblewoman who would offer sexual services for monarchs. So between those that are noble and those on the road, it all blends in. Track 4, Getaway. This time around we have an Ace composition. Once again, wasn't confident to sing it, so it was given to Peter to sing. Simple song about debating whether to stay or go, but regardless, the protagonists gotta get away. Track 5, Rock Bottom. This piece is divided into two separate segments. There's the acoustic intro contributed by Ace, and it runs a bit longer in length on record since the album was already short enough, so it was extended to fill up some space. And then the main song portion is from Paul, shows a little bit of free influence, and it's a tune that has lots of swagger to it. Now we're going to flip the album over to Side 2, Track 6, Come On and Love Me. Paul took some inspiration from the Moody Blues song Question for this song, and he shines on this track since he also provides the lead guitar solo throughout the song. This song was also the second and last single to be released from the album. Track 7, Anything for My Baby, another Paul track that was almost written specifically to provide material to the recording sessions, so concise and to the point arrangement-wise that it doesn't even feature a guitar solo. Track 8, She. Now this song's history dates back to when Gene was in a band called Bullfrog Beer, and it was co-written with Steve Coronel, who had provided the main riff of the song, and Gene wrote the lyrics based on the line, She Walks by Moonlight from the movie Hondo. Now this song was performed and recorded by Wicked Lester for their unreleased album. That version is available on the 2001 box set, and it has a sort of Jethro Tull vibe to it with the flute part provided by Brooke Ostrander. Now, when Kiss formed, the song was part of the live set, and it was considered for Hotter Than Hell, but enough fresh material was brought to the table, so it got held back. But when the pressure was on for new material for this album, it was finally given its due in the studio. And to give it a certain Kiss twist, Ace had based the guitar solo from the one that appears on the Doors track 5 to 1. Track 9, Lover All I Can. This Paul composition is another one that dates back to the Wicked Lester days, and a version from the unreleased album is on the 2001 box set. The song was also considered for Hotter Than Hell, but just like She, desperate measures were taken, but this song never really got a live airing by the band. The intro lick is lifted from The Who's I Can't Explain, and the main riff of the song is based on Open Your Eyes by the Nazz. Kiss's arrangement is very much in line with the original Wicked Lester arrangement, only differences being the extra guitar solo bits. Track 10, Rock and Roll All Night. At last, here we have what is perhaps the band's signature song. Now, this song came about when Neil Bogart suggested that they write a sort of anthem that their fans can rally behind. It's the combination of a song that Gene wrote called Drive Me Wild, and then Paul's contribution was the chorus of I Want to Rock and Roll All Night and Party Every Day. They put the two together, and there was the song. Now, the studio version was released as the first single from Dress to Kill, and it didn't do much, but when the live version was released as a single, that's when the single really caught on, gave the band their first hit, and the rest is history. Man, this review is just as short as the album. As for where this album stands in my Kiss catalog ranking, I would put Dress to Kill at the number 6 spot. Like I said before, with Neil Bogart in the producer's chair, he kind of took away that punch the band had in their sound in an attempt to get a hit out of them or some commercial appeal, and coupled with the dry production, this album certainly was forced out as the band was scrounging for material, but with all that said, they certainly work well under pressure, and there are some fine Kiss classics on this album. So there you guys go. That is the third episode of the 25 Days of KISSmas series. Stay tuned tomorrow for the fourth episode, and you can already guess what's coming next. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead, give it a like, and subscribe to the channel. See you guys in the next video, and most importantly, keep the records spinning.
Treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a